Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today I'm down at Hendrick Lexus Northlake and we're going to take a look at their 2022 Chevrolet Tahoe Z71. Huge shout out to them for providing this massive SUV for me today. Make sure you check out their website because they have a massive selection of new and used inventory. That link is down in the description. But the Z71 that you see behind me is finished off in gray, and they have a starting MSRP right around $64,000. As we move on to what powers this Tahoe now, underneath the hood is the 5.3 liter V8. This is paired to the 10-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 355 horsepower around 5,600 RPM and 383 pound-feet of torque around 4,100 RPM. That power is sent through the all-wheel drive system. This weighs in right around 5,600 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds with a top speed of 115 miles an hour. And it has a fuel capacity of 24 gallons. You'll expect to see around 15 miles per gallon in the city and 20 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 120.9 inches. Its overall length is 210.7. It has a width of 81, a height of 75.9, and its ground clearance measures in at 8 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for the Chevrolet Tahoe, let's start off with the Chevy badge right in the middle. It has a two-tone design with black in the middle and then chrome for the surround. Matches nicely with the dark chrome trim that runs right through the middle of the grille, leading to that Z71 badge over on the driver's side. This has an integrated forward-facing camera to provide you with a lot more visibility, especially for the size of this truck. And then there are plenty of cutouts located throughout this grille with a nice pattern in that mesh, again to provide more aerodynamics and cooling to that engine. Now this even has LED headlights, turn signals, and DRLs. I like how sleek the headlight housing is, tucked away nicely in between the grille and the bodywork, and then the DRL and turn signal wraps around the bodywork, sandwiched in between that grille and the bodywork. It gives it a really nice and sleek design. There's some more gloss black in the lower section along with parking sensors that run throughout, and you can see more of the bodywork going right through the middle just to break that up. Now this has red tow hooks on both sides to match that Z badge nicely, along with the skid plate up underneath. There's even some cutouts on the sides as well, and then you can see a little bit of that tire on both sides. Now the hood has some great lines running down it. There's a crisp line right in the middle, and then a few on each side just to bring it all together. Now as we move on to the side now, this has a set of 20-inch wheels. They have a multi-spoke design to them along with the two-tone finish. Great color combo for this exterior. The Tahoe badge is blacked out. There's Z71 on the side as well. And then the power folding side mirrors have a two-tone design to them. They have the integrated turn signal along with another camera. Now up on the roof is the full moonroof as well as the black running boards. And then for a look at the side profile, it has a really nice proportional design. There's a line that starts at the headlight. It goes above those door handles all the way to the taillights. This model even has a fixed set of running boards to help you enter and exit with some gloss black in that lower side skirt. There's also some crisp lines for the fender flares and another line in the lower section of that door. And then as we make our way to the rear, this has the body colored spoiler. There's a third brake light located there as well, and the wiper blade is tucked up there nicely. There's some gloss black on the sides just to match with that rear glass. Now this does have a backup camera, all of the parking sensors. This can even tow right around 8,200 pounds, which is very impressive. Taillights are on both sides. We have the Chevy badge right in the middle, of course, with more of that trim right through the middle of that power liftgate. So with the exterior for this Tahoe wrapped up, let's make our way to the cargo space. Now you can actually open up this glass separately from the liftgate itself. So over on this right side, if I push on that button, it will release. And now you can open this up. If you have some smaller items, you can quickly gain access to the back, which is of course great to have. And then to open up the liftgate, you can use that button located at the bottom or on the key fob. All I need to do is double tap on this button here, and you can actually double tap on that to open up the glass too. So either way, you can have that released. And then if I push on the other one now, the entire liftgate will open up. And we'll take a look at the amount of space that this has for a 3-row SUV. There's actually a good amount of space behind this third row, so you could easily place items here if you need to. And then along with that, if we lift this up, you have a little bit more storage along with the toolkit, so you can put some smaller items down below if you needed to. Now over on this passenger side, you can actually use these to collapse the second and third row. So if I just push on this left here down, you will see that seat go all the way down, and that gives you a nice flat surface. So if you have no one in the third row, you can see just how much more storage space you have. And then you can also double tap this button as well, and then do that to the second row. So when you fold all of them down, that definitely provides you all the interior space that you need. And then you can use those same buttons to put up the third row. The second row is manual, so you do have to fold those back up, but the third row is very quick to fold up and down. There's even a 3-prong outlet over on that passenger side if you need to use it. And then to close this power liftgate, there's a button over on this left side, and just by pushing on that, of course, it will automatically close. And so now let's take a look at the interior. Now you can lock and unlock this vehicle with the back door handles, which makes it a lot more convenient. And on this door panel, you can see the wood trim along with all the leather. There's gray stitching as well. Nice trim for the release handle. There's lock and unlock along with one of the window controls. And this even has the Bose audio sound system. And there's a split design for that storage in the door. So that's great to see. And the second row actually slides forwards and backwards. So you can't get this up out of the way to gain access to the third row. Now there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can pull on that handle twice, or there's a hidden button on the back. And if I push on that once, this will automatically fold down. From there, you can grab this and then lift it up. So that gives you an ample amount of space to enter these back seats. Now this Tahoe has 3 rows for the third row, so there's an ample amount of room. And you can see with this seat, it's not quite all the way back, but there's definitely plenty of room for your feet. And even at 5'10", I have around 2 or 3 inches above my head. So honestly, I could be very comfortable cruising in the third row of this Tahoe and have 2 people next to me if I need to. So it is very spacious. Now there's also a cup holder along with a USB-C over on this one side, same with the other side as well. So definitely very roomy. Now as far as visibility goes, that pillar is a little bulky, but you can easily see out of the back window, and then with that large glass right there. And then obviously with the captain's chairs in the middle, you could enter and exit a third way right through the middle. So as we make our way to the second row now, I can quickly push that down and fold it back up. And then it is slid all the way forwards right now. So if I hop up in here, use that first handle, I can slide this all the way back to give your second row passengers plenty of legroom as well. And so again, at 5'10", I have plenty of room above my head. We have the headrest there along with the adjustable armrest. So you can easily be very comfortable for the second row. Now right in the middle, we even have the heated seat adjustments that you can use along with the temperature dials, where you'd like the air to go, a few modes and some auxiliaries. And then in the lower section is another 3-prong outlet, so you can charge electronics as you need to. You can get another look at the captain's chairs here. And then there's the air vents on both sides, since this does have the full moonroof right in the middle. But you definitely have a lot of area for your backseat passengers to be super comfortable. Now as we make our way to the driver's seat now, same as the rear door panel with all the wood trim and the leather, there's the addition of all the window controls, side mirror adjustments, even lock and unlock, the Bose audio, and a lot more storage space for that door. Now Chevrolet is spelled out on the door sill, and then we have the same black leather seats with a nice design to them, very simple running down them. They are automatic seats, so all those adjustments are down on the side. And then with that side step, makes it very easy to jump up into this truck. And then looking at this steering wheel, it's completely covered in solid black leather with more of that brushed trim. Now on this right side is Bluetooth and voice commands. All of these arrows are for that gauge cluster, which we'll come back to. And then on the left side, you'll see all the cruise and adaptive cruise control settings. On the back side, this also has the volume and tuning adjustments. So tuning is over on that left side. But let's fire this up. With my foot on the brake, that button is over on this right side, and we can bring this to life. And you'll see on this massive digital gauge cluster, on the left side is the speedometer, on the right side is the tach, and then right in the middle, you can go through a lot more info using those buttons on the right side. So currently it's showing the drive summary. If I scroll down, you can look at trip 1 and trip 2. Also look at a timer. There's the TPMS that you can monitor along with the driving assistance. And then you have some other vitals that you can monitor just depending on what you need to see. If I scroll over now, there is music. You can also pull up the compass. You have your phone when you do have that paired and connected, and then you can go through all of these settings. You can even look at the different screen styles that you can pull up. So if we go to digital, you will see this change. And if I go back to clean, you will see it change again. So just depending on the style that you'd like to see, where pretty much everything goes away. And then the last one is classic. So just depending on what you like to see and how you'd like to see this information, you can easily pull that up. You can even monitor what you'd like to see on both sides. So if you go into the right side, you can pull up all this various information, again, just depending on what you'd like to see, even the lower section where the fuel and the engine temperature is. So it's great to have all those options right in the middle. And then as we work our way to the left side of the steering wheel, we have quite a few buttons You'll see we have the headlight adjustments along with the automatic headlights. There's a dimmer switch, all of the 4-wheel drive selectors. If you twist on this mode, you can go through the different driving modes like tow and haul. There's off-road, sport, and then the normal settings, so you can quickly get through those. There's the electronic parking brake along with the lane keeping assist, traction control. You can turn on and off the parking sensors. There's a downhill assist control, the engine start-stop feature. There's even the power outlets that I mentioned earlier that you can turn on and off, and a shortcut to the 360 camera system, which we'll come back to. Just above that, there's one air vent, more of that wood trim, and then there's leather on the entire dash. As we work our way to the middle now, we have this touchscreen system where there's a good amount of information to go through. If I click on the lower left, this is basically the home screen. So you'll see these icons like the audio, map, you can go to phones, the cameras. If I swipe over, we have the split screen with music and maps on that right side. And then for the last one, there's a few other icons that you can easily get into. And then on this left side, you can actually set all of these. So currently the upper one here is for the trailering system. So when you do have a trailer hooked up, you can go through that checklist. Just underneath that, we can go to phone. So again, when you have that paired, this offers Google Maps, which is actually very easy to use. So it's just like being on your phone. It is very easy to go through. There's a shortcut to music, and then we are back to the home setting. So it's very simple, straightforward, and gives you everything that you need. You'll notice there's more wood trim just behind that, leading all the way to the passenger side. There's some more leather underneath that screen. And then over on this left side is the gear selector. So park is at the top. If I just pull on reverse, you'll see that 360 camera system pop back up. And there are so many different angles, just depending on the visibility that you need. As far as towing a trailer, you have so many different angles there. There's even guidelines as well. So just depending on what you need to see, you can quickly pull all of that up. You can bring it up in full screen as well, or have that top-down view. Now to put this vehicle into drive, you just pull on the D. By pushing P, that'll go back into park. There's even a low range where you can even shift too. So if you are off-roading or towing with this, you can hold the gear as needed. There are 2 air vents right in the middle. And then over on this passenger side, there's the hazards, and then this little storage bin where you could place some items if you need to. And then right in the middle, you'll see all of these physical buttons like power and volume for the radio. Tuning is on the right side. There's also tuning in the middle, a physical button for the home screen, so you can quickly get back to that. And then all the climate controls are nicely laid out. So there's the temperature dials on both sides. Fan speed is right in the middle, where you like the air to go, and the rest of those controls. These are even heated seats as well. So you have both of those dials on each side, and then you can even adjust the rear climates right in the middle. And then at the very bottom, you'll see all those auxiliaries along with a wireless charging pad, so you can place your phone there or other items that you may have. There are 2 cup holders just behind that. And as we move on to the center armrest, I really love this cutout. You can easily place your phone there and it won't roll around. And then by opening this up, there is a massive amount of space. There's also some auxiliaries so you can charge electronics. And when I remove that, there is definitely a lot of space for any items you'd like to place there. As we work our way to the glove box now, there's a lot more room for all of that information. We'll take one last look at these seats, which have a really nice design to them. And like I mentioned earlier, this has a full moonroof. So I can just use this control right in the middle to open that up. It'll go all the way to the back seat headrest, which provides a lot of light. Also up in the middle, you can slide the sunroof, you can tilt it. There's also the power liftgate control, so you can have that off 3/4 or open all the way. You can even fold down the 3rd row seating with both of those dials. So as you can see, the 3rd row is slightly folded because I didn't push it all the way, but you can easily put those up or down. There's the easy access when you get in and out, some garage door buttons, even the dome lights on both sides, and then there's some call buttons in the very front. As we set off behind the wheel now in this 2022 Chevrolet Tahoe Z71, this is a massive SUV. If you are in the market for a people hauler, something that you might need to tow with at the same time, and you just need this amount of space, this is honestly a very practical and capable SUV. One that I would consider if I needed this much space. This is just an all-around good sized vehicle. At the same time too, it doesn't feel as big as it looks from the outside. Just driving it around the parking lot, it feels kind of like a normal sized vehicle. Now I will say, if I look over my right shoulder there, I can see that pillar that I mentioned from the 3rd row, but I can see around it. I can look over my left shoulder too. So while it has this amount of size to it, it's very easy to drive. So don't let this massive size SUV scare you from getting it if this is something that you actually need. Now, of course, if you drive this a lot, you will get used to it. And also, as I make a 360, I am impressed with this steering. This is such a maneuverable size that it's going to be seeing parking lots and things like that all the time. And then when you need to, it gets up and moves. It's a heavy vehicle. It doesn't have as much horsepower and torque as I would think coming from a V8 engine, but it got up to speed just fine. So I don't see any issues with the power that this has, especially for its size. But as we're out on the road now, this is very comfortable to drive. It's pretty quiet too. The suspension is doing a great job with all the bumps that I've been going over so far in today's video. And it's nice and quiet. I could definitely see this being a great daily driver. Not only that, but also all of the technology features that this does have to offer, especially the camera system and even the interface using this screen. Now, we have had other Chevrolet models for press vehicles that we've been able to have for a week, so I'm not gonna have that much time in this, of course, but with this system here, it's very easy to use. I really like, especially the Google Assistants and the Google Maps. It makes it so user-friendly to go through that information. So there's not a lot of bells and whistles for the Z71, more on the upper level for the Tahoe, but we have a lot of the off-road technology with the four-wheel drive system and everything. And we do have a nice amount of information. And so now as we switch over to the POV angle, you can see what it's like to be behind the wheel for this Chevrolet Tahoe. And like I mentioned earlier, this screen, very nice position for it, so you can easily reach it from the driver or the passenger seat. We'll give it a little bit of gas here. And about quarter throttle, we are up to speed, so it has a lot more potential than what I'm throwing at it today. And hopefully you can tell how quiet this is to drive. I really do like this. It's a jumbo SUV, I'll call it, because of how big it is. But it's so easy to drive. It doesn't feel as big as it looks from the outside, like I mentioned earlier. So this is very easy to park or just to drive in general, especially with the camera system that I showed. And a look at visibility from the driver's seat. You can see over that pillar, and then a glance over my left shoulder, you can easily see out of that window. So it's pretty open all around, which is of course great. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for this walk around review and test drive behind the wheel of this 2022 Chevrolet Tahoe Z71. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Again, check out their website. That link is down in the description. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.